was from one extreme to the other. It was just like 5 views to 500 views. And I was like, whoa, people like me. This is weird. Especially when there's like a fan base and people started to make like photo edits of me. I'm like, I feel special. Like somebody, like it's so crazy to think about that someone actually goes out of their way to look at content I made and then are like, I really vibe with you. I like you. Like I'm a fan. Like it's crazy to me.
Today on the show, we are joined with actress and YouTube sensation Lindsay Ivan. You may know her from formerly being a host on one of Canada's biggest YouTube channels, Most Amazing Top 10, where I personally got to work with her. And right now she's doing so much awesome stuff, from recently wrapping up in a role in her first full-length film, to kicking ass with her own YouTube channel, and even getting into the business of thrifting clothes. She is so hardworking, and this is just such a fun talk. And beyond the good vibes, there's a lot of topics and substance to this interview. Beyond diving into her story, we dig in the nitty-gritty of both her life as an actress and a prevalent face on YouTube, how they cross over, and even her journey of embracing her comedic side, which, if you ever met Lindsay, it's all laughs, and it's so cool when somebody can find their natural abilities and translate it onto screen or their art form. I truly believe that's when magic starts happening for an artist, an entertainer, an author. We can go down the list of everything. But that's all I gotta say for an intro. And I just want to dedicate this episode to anybody who is out there grinding, trying to turn their love and passions into a full-time job. I think you're going to get a lot of this interview today. But without further ado, here's Lindsay Ivan. What up?
Hi, how are you?
Great. So awesome to see you.
Oh, finally. Jeez, it's been too long.
Yeah, it's been a while. But fuck, you're in front of the iconic Lindsay Ivan set, which is amazing. Yeah.
I had to.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for wanting to spend some time with me today. It's so fucking cool to have you on this thing. Finally, it's been a long time coming, and you've always been in mind since I met you to be on the show. And yeah. So how you doing today?
It's busy. It's hectic. I have to go home to Scarborough in a bit because on Saturday and Sunday I have 2 markets that I do, because now I do vintage reselling as well. So I do a lot of like pop-ups and stuff.
Yeah, that's so badass too. And like, yeah, like you can see like from your background, like you're really into like the vintage stuff and everything. And
thrifting,
I see like
everything is thrifted.
yeah, even like in your Insta stories too, I see you just killing it with these markets, and like this is kind of a new thing over the last year, right, for you, like to do the markets and stuff.
Yeah, like I've always sold online. So I have I have 2 websites that I use to sell. But then I had a friend reach out to me and was just like, you want to start doing markets? And I was like, so scared. I was like, I don't know, can I? Just like little old me standing there. But it's less intimidating than I thought it would be. Like I just have a good time chatting with people, talking about vintage clothes, and it pays the bills. So
yeah, especially like it's fun when you can like find something that's a job, but it's something you also love. Like it doesn't feel like work when you
exactly. Like
go to every
it's
day.
so much fun. I love going out and like sourcing it, and then like it sounds weird, but I'm like, I love doing the laundry. Like I'm like, oh, there's a stain. I'll get that out. I'll scrub it. I know. Like,
Oh, I need you to come over. I
it.
got a big pile for you, Lindsay.
Oh God, I can only imagine. No thanks.
Oh, that's awesome though. But even I think it's so cool that you're really into all this like classic nostalgia stuff, even to the point where when I first met you, you always like had a little hint of that too, to the point where I thought you were much older than you actually are.
Really?
Yeah, just like, and it's not like a look wise, it's just like it feels like you're like an older soul in a way.
Old
And just
soul.
like I'd
Okay.
make like a 90s reference, and you're the only one who laughs and everybody's like, what the fuck's this old dude talking about? Like shit like that. But I
Yeah,
just kind of want to know, like, how did you like kind of fall in love with like this older nostalgia? Because it's not even 90s. Like I can tell by like the stuff you're selling on the thrift store and stuff that it's like even goes further behind that, and from your
Yeah,
records on
it's
the wall, everything.
literally it's
Yeah.
anything that's like super cool. It's so weird. I started because I wanted a little side hustle in like 2019, I think. I graduated college and I was like, I have all these clothes sitting around that I'm not wearing, and I don't want to just donate it because like I know some of it is worth money. So I started just like listing it online, and I'm like, people like my style, and I always loved thrifting, especially the like sustainability aspect of it too, because fast fashion is literally destroying the world.
Mm.
Anyways, so yeah, it's just more sustainable to shop secondhand and to make that available for people that maybe they go out to the thrift stores and they don't find anything like cool, or they don't have thrift stores or many thrift stores around them. So I just made it accessible for them online. And I was like, oh, people actually vibe with this. They like my style. They like the things that I'm picking up. This is cool. And then I never really experimented with my style. I always wore just like leggings and like a basic t-shirt. And I'm like, I love wearing this stuff too. So, I mean, not now. I'm just wearing like a basic black shirt, but I normally wear like a old band tee or like a cool denim jacket that's like embroidered, has like the Mickey Mouse gang on the back. Like,
Hell yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
you
my
could,
identity now.
yeah, you got the swag, and it fits you well and like matches the personality. It's really cool. And even like it's interesting that you mentioned too, there's I didn't even think of this, like just kind of like the reselling and how conscious that is to just everything, like we're
Mm,
continuing to make stuff that turns into garbage. And that's something like I haven't even thought of about, like when I see like a thrift store and stuff like that. So you kind of made me just totally appreciate it on another level than this is just cool nostalgic shit.
yeah, yeah. And plus, I don't know about you, but I find that thrifted like denim or t-shirts, they last so much longer because right now they're like mass, like stores are mass producing stuff. So the quality is cheap, cheap, cheap. And that's why it ends up in the landfill because it rips, like
Mm.
the threads come undone. But just like the old denim, the old shirts, it lasts so long. And nowadays it's like it's literally like crappy material that stuff is being made out of, and it's being sold for way too much, and then people just end up throwing it out or it goes in the landfill. So
Yeah,
I
that's
just
so
I
facts too. Like
yeah.
that's another thing I
That's
haven't thought
facts.
about. Yeah, with the hard stuff. But like seriously, like over this past year, I bought like a new jacket and it like ripped. And I still have like this old jacket I bought like a decade ago from a thrift store. So I don't know
Mhm.
how old this jacket actually is, and it's still
Yeah.
strong. Like you can shoot it with a bullet and like I'll be fine. It's like
Oh my
amazing.
gosh. I should use that as my branding slogan. You can shoot my clothes with a bullet, they'll be fine. You're
Yeah, yeah. You'd be
good.
safe in these streets.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
mhm.
cool. Even I think the other week you posted like a thing of your shop, and I remember seeing like a Kool-Aid tea, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. I should
Oh,
go
yes.
see Lindsay. And then I swear like an hour later or something, you reposted something somebody else shared and they bought the Kool-Aid tea. I'm like, that bitch, like
Yeah.
you got my tea.
That literally that went so fast. Like someone's like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, yeah," and they just grabbed it.
Yeah, yeah. Who wouldn't grab that?
I
That's
know. I
cool.
told her when she bought it, I'm like, "You have to go and say, 'Oh, yeah.'" And she did. She ran up to her boyfriend. She's like, "Look what I bought." "Oh, yeah." And I'm like, "Thank you. You literally just made my life."
That's so sick. And yeah, like initially I met you at Most Amazing, which for people who are listening to this who don't know what that is, it's actually like it's yeah, I know you're not there anymore, but it is one of the biggest YouTube channels in Canada. And this
Mhm.
kind of like sparked your path of like doing your own YouTube stuff. And I
Yes,
kind of
for
want to know
sure.
your beginning origins of how you got into all this, because I jumped in and met you when you were already killing it and just
Oh,
had
thank
your
you.
groove and everything and your fan base. And I don't know the beginning story of
The
Lindsay.
beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Oh.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, I almost didn't show up to the audition, so my life would be completely different now. But I saw it on like a casting call website because like I act, like my main passion is like acting and I want to do film and television. YouTube's like on off to the side. Um and so I saw the casting call and I didn't know what exactly it was going to be. I thought like maybe I'm doing a couple of videos. I didn't realize it would literally be 9 to 5, like full-time job Monday to Friday. So I almost didn't take the telephone interview because I had a telephone interview first. I was like, I don't like, I used to be so anxious. I was like, I don't want to talk on the phone,
Yeah.
but I did it. And then they brought me in for an audition. I had something that I prepared, that I wrote and I prepared. And like I had a trial day of 2 days. And then they hired me after those 2 days. And it was so intimidating being on the channel because I was with all these hosts that like knew each other and they were killing it. They had a high following. And I remember the first couple of videos that I did, I did so bad. And even the comments were like, "Who is this chick?" And like the lighting looked terrible on me. Like I looked so pale. And I was like, "Oh no." And I remember saying something about scary movies. I was like, "Oh, I love scary movies, but I don't like being scared." And everyone in the comments was roasting me. They're like, "Why is she on a scary channel? She doesn't like being scared." I'm like, "Oh my God, they're gonna fire me."
Oh,
But
damn.
I kind of just like stuck with it. I got faster at scripting and researching. I kind of got in like a groove. I got way more comfortable on camera. And I always had my personal YouTube channel, but I would only post like sketch comedy and it was pretty crappy. Like it was really crappy quality. I was editing on like Windows Live Movie Maker. Like it was not
That's
good.
how I learned to edit too, like just doing
Yeah.
shitty comedy skits as well
I feel
on
like
like,
everyone
yeah.
in the entertainment industry starts off that way. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I look back at it and I laugh and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is how far I've come. But I remember people found my channel because they were just Googling my name and they were commenting on my old videos like, is this the new host? Question mark. I'm like, oh, I gotta private these.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the very first video that I did like professionally was just a Q&A on my channel because people wanted to get to know me as a host. And that's when I kind of brought in my following because they're like, oh, she's actually cool. She's not so nervous and she's funny. And then everything just kind of like snowballed. I got more comfortable. I kind of found myself on the camera. And then I started posting on my own channel and it's growing like crazy now.
Yeah, that's got to be a wild transition as well, from just kind of do like you mentioned, just doing your own little comedy thing, and maybe a couple people like see it, like your friends, and then all of a sudden you're on like a channel with 9 million plus subscribers. Like there's no like what's the middle like to ease you
Yeah,
in. It's like you're just thrown in the
it literally
sharks.
was
And
just yeah, it was from one extreme to the other. It was just like 5 views to 500 views, and I was like, "Whoa, people like me. This is weird." Especially when there's like a fan base and people started to make like photo edits of me. I'm like, "Oh, I feel special." Like somebody like it's so crazy to think about that someone actually goes out of their way to look at content I made and then are like, I really vibe with you. I like you. Like I'm a fan. Like it's crazy to me to think about.
yeah, there was like a lot of like diehards, and like it was crazy, like to the way like they would have like a Lindsay Ivan fan account and somebody
Yeah,
would post every day like a photo of you that's
yeah.
like all edited, and they had it for like
There's
all
like
the other
3 of
hosts. And
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, it's insane. Even I noticed like sometimes I'd go for a coffee with like Johnny or Jared or the boys, and then I get like tagged in the story, and then a bunch of these people are like, "Oh, who's John?" And like blah blah blah. Like they want to like know like all
Who
their
you're
layers of your
associated
life.
with.
And yeah, I know Jen used to
Yeah.
get that a lot too, another editor and great photographer and everything. But they,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Every time I post a photo that Jen took of me, she gets a bunch of followers too, which is amazing because she needs to blow up. She's so talented.
oh yeah, she's the best. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. People are like, who are you with? So I'm also like very cautious who I tag. Like I'm keeping my relationship private. Like like
Yeah,
no one needs to know.
I think you have to because especially like again like at the end of the day you don't really know these people. Some might be like super genuine, and I know like a lot of you guys like um it goes like both ways. Like it's like a lot of like just genuine love, and then sometimes you get like some creepy stuff. Like I heard
Oh,
stories of
yeah.
like stalkers like trying to hunt people down. Like
Oh my
it's
God.
so crazy to think about, like just being in front of that many people when you get them
Hmm.
all, like right across the spectrum.
Yeah. You get the love, you get the hate, and you get the crazies.
Yeah, to the point like I think on your channel too you did like some reactions to different comments and like thirsty shit, which is fun. Like where can people like find your channel if they haven't heard of this?
So you literally can just search my name, Lindsay Ivan. I'm sure you'll put something on the screen, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you can just search my name on Google. I'm Googleable, which is cool because usually when you like back in the day when you used to Google me, a British art dealer named Ivan Lindsay would pop up.
A
So,
fine
but now
gentleman
I
named
have
Ivan.
my own page, which was actually funny because um when you googled my name, some of his photos would pop up and some of mine, but it had his age and it was like 50 something. So somebody DM'd me and they're like, "Oh my god, Lindsay, you look so good for a 50-year-old." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And wrong person.
Yeah, and again, you're into like you got like records from like the 70s behind you.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, she's
that
50.
checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This must be the same person. Excuse me? No. Like what water am I drinking?
Yeah, definitely. Do you find like because obviously like around this too, you are an actress. And do you
Mhm.
find like your experience of the whole YouTube thing is helping you with auditions or even like getting roles and stuff like that?
It's interesting because I just recently told my agent about my following. So she was kind of in the dark. I was actually nervous to tell her. I'm like, will this blow my chances? Um, so it's tricky because I know sometimes like companies or that do like commercials, they don't want someone that already has something associated with them.
Hmm.
So it's hard, but then I see casting calls where it's like looking for content creators, looking for
Yeah.
TikTok users. So those ones specifically help me out because I say, hey, I have a huge TikTok following. I'm familiar with the app. Yes, I can create content. But I've had a couple people reach out to me and be like, would you be interested in auditioning for this role? But other than that, I don't know. It's kind of neutral. I think more so it helps me look more professional if I have someone looking at my profile and they see that I have a high following and on my Instagram it says that I'm an actor, they're like, "Oh, okay, she's been in stuff. Like she got a good following."
Yeah, I can even imagine like if I was like an independent filmmaker and I even wanted to get my film out, like and branch beyond whatever my circumference of following is, it'd
Mhm.
be like such a good asset to have people like you who have that fan base and loyalty behind you, because you got people who watch your stuff who are going to watch everything you do, and like I'm
Mhm.
sure if it
Mhm.
like a movie came out like they're going to buy a ticket to it, or like watch like a series or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I just filmed a couple months ago. I filmed my very first movie, which was a huge and exciting experience.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. And I posted a story being like, I'm so excited. I'm on set. This is my first movie. And I still, to this day, I get fans being like, when's the movie coming out? I saw
Mhm.
your post. I want to see it. And I'm like, it's still in process. Like, it's going to be like a year until we all see it. But yeah, they definitely want to see the content that I'm in, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And yeah, I get a lot of directors in these segments as well too. And sometimes it's crazy where they'll have the movie done, but then they'll get in like bidding wars of different publishers like wanting to sell it. And then
Oh,
sometimes it
true.
takes like another year. So finally like their movie comes out and it's like to them it's like 3 years old, but for us it's like
Yeah.
brand new. So I hope we get to see the Lindsay debut sooner than later.
Heck yeah, same. But I don't know. Maybe I'm 30 when it comes out. Like,
Yeah.
you never know.
30's not that bad. You just get a little grayer.
True. I get a little gray. I have like a walking cane. I'm walking down the red carpet. When I was young, I filmed this.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you've been in like a few like series as well, right?
Yes. I've done a couple like web series. I've done a couple like TV show pilots kind of thing. So
Mhm.
just whatever I get, I take, and hopefully it opens up to something bigger.
Yeah, that's cool. I think the one fun thing when I was working with you on these YouTube videos, even before I met you, was just your spirit and humor. I remember just like I would like for people like listening to, like I used to edit for Most Amazing, and I remember my first week just getting random videos of different hosts and stuff, and yours was one of the first one where I was just sitting at my desk. I didn't even meet you yet, and I was just like laughing, like we had like such the same like humor, to the point I felt like my editing would also match that in a way, and like timing and stuff. And like I think some of my best videos there was like your videos, just because it we had like some like weird synchronicity with our silliness,
We
you know.
did.
Yeah, it was
It's so
amazing.
crazy. We're literally
Yeah.
on the same wavelength because yeah, I haven't even met like I hadn't even met you. I knew you were like Johnny's friend. You were kind of like quiet in the corner room by yourself. And I remember seeing one video that you edited and it had me in tears. It had me in tears. I was telling everyone, I'm like, guys, Sean is amazing. Like I was hyping you up. And then I remember going up to you and I was just like, really good job in the video. It made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was so nervous to talk to you. And
I
then
was the
like it
same
was
way with
so
you
chill
too. I'm like,
after.
oh, it's the funny girl. Like, that's so funny to hear. Like you're oh man. Even, but I feel like so like that happened. I remember you like kind of hyping me up, and people were having like a bit of a tug of war of me being their editor. But I couldn't be that funny with everybody. You know,
No, yeah.
it was like this weird like chemistry we had with just like the way you would deliver lines and the way I would just like cut things. It's something weird that I've never like thought about in my life until like that. So like I can like I always hear like with like different directors, like a Tarantino, he always has like the same editor or whatever. It's almost like
Yes,
I
yes.
think some people have that idea to like a link of somebody who can do the technical stuff, and it just makes magic and everything, almost to the point where
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't so busy all the time. I feel like we like just this conversation we should be making shit, you know.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm like,
I'm like,
where's
you
my
gotta
time?
start editing videos for me. Like
Yeah. Oh, I
that'd
wish
be
I
a blast.
yeah. I also feel bad. I feel like I tried to edit videos for some people, and it's just like the way my life is right now. It's just no time to put
Mm,
my full effort into it. Almost in a weird way where every time I try to do something where I'm helping something, just like it's almost like the universe, like to get like super spacey, like causes something that almost tells me you're not supposed to be like, I don't know, on the side. You're supposed to be leading things. Because every
interesting.
time I'm like trying to be like in the background doing something for somebody, it just doesn't work out. It's not because I can't do the job, just something will happen like in life, or like I'll get this
Yeah.
opportunity right away where it'll suck out all my time. And like this has been a consistent thing for years, like the past like 3 years, where it just pulls me away. And even to the point of like I think about like getting let go from Most Amazing too. Like I look on it
Oh,
like on paper and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why did you let me go? But at the same time, I'm like, hey, this is totally meant to be. Like, I'm supposed to be
yeah.
like, I was like kind of like stifling, I don't know, my spirit of what my strengths are, just kind of being on the side and not being a leader in a way, if that makes sense, you know?
No, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. That was for me, like so I quit on my own terms and I was very nervous doing so. I was like, what if I can't make rent? Because I
I
was just gonna
couldn't
rely on like my own channel and my thrifting business, you know?
Yeah, I
So
couldn't
I
even
was so
imagine your
nervous.
position, because even on top of that too, it's like you have all these people who watch you every day who are on these
Yeah.
channels too. So yeah, this is really interesting. I totally want to hear like your whole perspective of this. Like,
Yeah, I was so nervous because yeah, I have such a loyal fan base. I'm like, are people gonna unfollow me? Are they going to be like uninterested? Like, oh, you're not on the channel anymore. But I just kind of like, I took a leap of faith and everything just lined up perfectly.
Mhm.
And that just, my mind is blown. And I have people like still to this day finding my channel and being like, who are these new hosts? We want you back. Or they do like marathon videos. So they see me and they get confused. They're like, are you back? I'm like, no, those are just like old videos.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
But it all worked out. Like I've had companies reach out to me and I do like little gigs on the side and I work for other companies. So I'm just hustling. I'm working a lot. But yeah, everything kind of just like lined up. It's just so busy. Like you say, when one opportunity presents itself, it's like a million other presents itself. It's like, whoa, 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 slow down. Let me focus on one thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it also helps that you're such a hard worker. Even I noticed like when we worked together, you would just like crush these scripts, and at the same time,
Oh,
like
thank you.
a few times a week, you'd go out for like auditions and stuff. You're always
Yeah.
hustling, and that's I don't know. I feel like a lot of people they want to do things in their life, they want to follow their dreams, but they're not putting in the work. They kind of think it can
Yes.
happen overnight because they see
Yes.
some random, like we live in such like a weird time with like YouTube and like all these like TikToks where there is like overnight success,
There
but
is. Yeah.
it's like almost like winning the lottery. And I also noticed like a lot of those like one hit wonders for a bit, they don't last, because they don't have
Mhm.
the work ethic, or they can't like, I don't know, not conditioned to keep it going, where I feel like, I don't know, you just built like such a strong foundation where to your core it seems like you're always hustling, whether it's the thrifting or going out to auditions, and even like your channel is consistent. It's like so much at the same time.
Yes, it's a lot. I feel like my mom instilled that in me because she's just like she works a lot. So
Mhm,
a part of it was also because I have two older brothers and both of them have like traditional jobs and I was the
mhm.
one that like went on the like artsy thing.
Yeah, you're the
And like
weirdo of the
they have,
family.
yeah,
I feel
like
that
they
too. I
have
relate.
benefits. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have benefits. They have like vacation days, and I'm here like I just set my own hours, which
yeah.
made them nervous. So it was kind of
Mhm,
like I gotta prove to them that I can do this. And it was the same thing when I like moved out to my little place here. I had to like they were so nervous. I had to prove to them that I could do it, that like I was capable living on my own and I worked my bum off for them and that translated to here to online as well.
definitely. I feel like I had a similar experience with my family as well too, because like what we do is so untraditional, and when people just kind of have a 9 to 5 and that's like what they know is how you live, and then all of a sudden like you just want to like do YouTube videos, or I'm like moving to Toronto with like a camcorder, like I'm gonna make it, like they're gonna get worried. And I feel like one thing, like in the early days, I felt like um almost to the point where I'm like, oh, nobody believes in me type of thing. But now like with like a lot of perspective, it's kind of like out of love of
Yeah,
them
it
like
definitely
not
is.
understanding and being worried in a way too. And almost like you mentioned, you had to prove to them, and I felt like
Yeah.
the same. And even like it was funny, like with the podcast thing, like everybody's just like, oh, it's just like Sean's playing radio, like I don't know what a podcast is, he's not on, like
Literally,
I
Lindsay's got the
can't.
camera again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then finally, it was like a couple of years ago, I did an interview, like, and I was getting like big names around them, but it was like people like my family didn't know because they're just not from like that generation. Like I'm talking to like
Yeah.
people I grew up listening to. Then all of a sudden, I did one interview with Kim Mitchell, and then all of a sudden, my mom and dad are just like, "Oh my God, Sean had like Kim Mitchell," and like telling like all their like older friends are like, "Oh, that's crazy! Like, how did that
No.
happen?" I'm like,
Oh my
yo,
god,
I've been
that's
working for 10
literally
years at this shit.
yes. That's literally the same as me because I was
Yeah.
acting. I was going on like sets and my dad was just like, "Oh, she's a little actor." And then I was on The Handmaid's Tale and he
Yeah,
actually watched that show. So he was freaking out and that's what he was telling all his friends. He's like, "Yeah, my daughter's an actor. Oh,
yeah.
like well, she was on The Handmaid's Tale." It was so funny because he drove me to set and he's like, "So like, do you want me to stay? You want me to stick around? Because he wanted to meet the cast. I'm like,
Oh,
no,
that's
Dad, you can't
amazing.
come with me. He was
Ah,
so excited, and then we watched the episode together, and it was a cute bonding moment.
yeah, it's nice, but it's so funny too how it just takes something like that. You could be killing it with like things they're just out of touch with,
They just
and
don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh yeah, you're just going out playing pretend, and when are you gonna get a real job at the factory, dude, like around the
Literally.
corner?
Well, still, when my parents like tell other people what I do for a living, like when their friends ask, my mom goes, "Oh, she does the YouTubes. Yeah, she makes videos." Like she has trouble explaining, like, "Mom, you're making me sound like a little kid.
Yeah.
Stop."
Yes. Same with like I'm in my 30s and my mom says the same thing, like the YouTubes and
Yeah, on the YouTubes. Yeah,
yeah.
she
Oh man.
films and she goes, it's crazy how she adds like these pop-ups and images and it's really funny what she does. She does not explain it.
Yeah.
Pop-ups in the images. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's so interesting, but like it's kind of charming too, like just the different perspectives of generations, because even like it's
Yes.
crazy how like things just changed so fast. And like I'm a bit older than you, and I remember like just I have vivid memories of the 90s, and it feels like another universe, like I dreamed it, and
It
then
was
all of a
so
sudden like high speed internet hit and this everything is upside down, like
yeah, like when I grew up, we didn't really have internet. We just
mhm.
had those like remember when you bought like Cheerios or Rice Krispies and those discs came in the
Yeah,
little games like Freddy Fish, Jam and Sam? That was my entertainment, playing Freddy Fish over and over again and having it a different bad guy each time. Like that's all we did. And then like a couple years later, it's like, oh, we have this. And I remember like MSN for
Mhm.
Hotmail and talking on there. And then we had Blackberries and BBM. And now it's like, oh, iPhones and iMessage. I'm like, whoa, settle down. Like I feel sorry for kids these days. Like a lot of people say that, but my life would be so different if I grew up with like an iPad or iPhone. Like, I spend most of my day outside playing and it was so much fun. And now it's all like indoors and
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, and I definitely like notice like when I think of those memories, it's like an energy shift that happened too. And even like I'm
Yeah.
so conditioned to my phone now too, almost like it feels like I've had it since I was like an infant. It's like you're so attached to it almost like unconsciously, like even like you don't even have to think anymore. Like
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't
a little
know something,
creepy.
you just pull it out of your pocket. Where I guess there's pros and cons to that, but it was always like fun, like back in the day, like the schoolyard talk where somebody would just tell you like this epic lie and you couldn't even like fact check them. And
You
then,
couldn't even like look it up. You're like, you have a dictionary. You're like, what does this word mean? Like,
yeah, it's
oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weird how fast times change too.
Hmm.
But like
Yeah.
that's why I like holding on to like the nostalgic stuff because it was such a good time.
Yeah. It's even like it's like refreshing to see like all that in your background and stuff. Even like most people like who listen like only like listen to the show on Spotify too.
Oh
But
yeah.
I want to let people know I do post these on YouTube now. I've been doing it for the past year, and yeah, go check it out. I know like people get into their habits of like putting it on during their commute too. But even if you don't want to watch it, hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out,
Yeah.
you know?
See what I look like. See what my background looks like so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
I'm waving right now.
Yeah.
If you made it this
Hi
far, then
people.
yeah, literally. People that are listening, you're missing out.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. Well, I'm really excited to see this movie whenever it comes out. Definitely, I'm gonna be a day oneer. I hope it ends up like in a festival or something like that.
That's
Because
what they're aiming for.
hell
They're
yeah.
so the director that did it, his movies always get into TIFF. So I'm like, that is a dream if I could be
Mm,
walking the carpet at TIFF and have my movie in there. And like the role that I played, so it's a I can't say a lot about it, but
yeah,
it's like a serious drama action. And my scene, I was the comedic relief. And so I think
nice.
the contrast in the film is going to be absolutely hilarious. And the director was literally like, just improv. So I had the script and like I was just improving and he was filming it so he was dying of laughter. So I was like it was good. It's like I made the director laugh. and they're like, you killed it. I'm like, hopefully we can work together again.
Oh, that's so perfect too. Even that's amazing too that he gave you that freedom, because I feel like from
Hmm.
my experience of seeing you work, that's where you really shine, when you get to be like kind of
Yes.
just loosen up and be you, and also like just not have any restraints to on your silliness, because it's like it's natural and it's legit. Like, just you're just so funny. I know, like we've been talking about like a lot of like more like serious stuff during this interview, but you guys got to check out Lindsay's channel and just like see her just riff on shit. It's the best. It's one thing I miss about like editing those videos.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was weird because I used to suck at improv, and I think it was just confidence level. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm not good at this. I don't know what to say." And I was so focused on saying things to make people laugh. And then I was like, "I'm literally just going to be myself. Screw it." And that's when all these you find these like good moments. It's just literally being yourself. So it's so much
Hmm.
about confidence.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh, and another thing I'm thinking of too, why I thought you were a bit older as well, is because you're such a big fan of Adam Sandler, and he was like,
Yo, Sean, I'm about to go off. Stop. I literally
yeah,
could
let's
spend the next like
go.
2 hours talking about him. He is in Toronto and I have not run into him. And everyone is meeting him. Like my friend was just like, oh yeah, he pulled up at a basketball court and started playing with us. I'm like, you didn't think to let me know that he was there? I can't play basketball. I would have been there like, hey, yo, what's up, Adam? Yeah, like the 3-pointer touchdown. Yeah, like for real.
Yeah,
I
aren't you
literally
supposed
would
to
just
be the
eat it
water
up.
boy? Huh?
Yeah. Oh my god, I literally would just be. I'm like the Sandman. Like I would just be cracking jokes.
Yeah,
You
that's
need to have him on here. You got
oh,
you got
that'd
to
be
get in contact
amazing.
with him.
That's a tough one, but yeah,
Oh,
anything's possible. I've had some
oh,
fucking things
geez.
that I thought
Like
was
my heart
impossible.
is beating right now. As soon as you said Adam Sandler, my
That's
heart is just
amazing.
beating.
Do you remember your
He's
earliest memory
amazing.
of like seeing
Oh
him in a
yeah.
movie, or like which movie was it?
Yes. So because I have two older brothers, every time we went on a road trip, we would watch um The Longest Yard, and that was a more serious one,
Amazing,
right?
yeah.
So I
Classic.
wasn't really into it. There was like now looking back, I'm like, that's a genius film. Like it's hilarious, it's sad, it's. And then we also watched Mr. Deeds, and it's really funny because that there was a scene where he pulls out his like black foot. No, that scarred me for life. So I was
Yeah,
terrified,
it was
and I
scary.
remember being scared of that movie because of that scene. And then as I got older, I watched Just Go With It, and that movie is to this day one of my favorites. I have seen it too many times. Every time I meet someone that hasn't seen it, I'm like, okay, we're watching it together because it's so funny. I literally can quote it. And I think I relate to him because our humor is kind of kind of the same. Like I'm not funny. No, like it's very quick-witted. Some people don't get it right away. He makes a lot of
Mm.
references to other things, and that's what I do. So I find that he's so funny. He's just a genius. So Adam,
Oh,
hit me up.
that's amazing. And now that you break it down like that too, I do see the influence even more in you too. And that's probably why you made me like laugh my ass off at my computer, because back in the day he was my guy as well. Like even I have
Right?
like vivid memories. It was like kind of like late 90s when I was just like a preteen, like even like probably like 9 years old around then. Um it was like prior to like watching like YouTube, some of the biggest comedy things were Adam Sandler. Every year he would release a CD, and it would be
Yes,
half
he would.
sketches and half songs. And
I'm trying to thrift them.
yeah,
I
let's go.
found some of his comedy specials, but that's one of my goals. I literally, yeah, I have some.
Oh, that's
I know
amazing.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
it so interesting too is like those CDs were made for adults, but it was almost like a weird like this is like pre-viral stuff where people would like tape the CDs and share them around the schoolyard, like don't show your parents
Oh yeah.
this, and like it was like you'd have to like hide and listen to it. And I just remember me and my friend like up in his room, like locking the door and like listening to that piece of shit car song and stuff like that, and like just dying laughing, like, and probably not even getting like all the references because it was like so
Oh
adult,
no.
but that was just like the thing to do when you were like a kid in my generation.
Literally, he's so funny, and how he does those like different voices and characters. I find myself doing that where he talks like this, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, I didn't
yeah.
even realize.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just like probably like became like an unconscious thing to you and everything. Have
Very
you
much
ever
so.
done improv or want to do improv, like beyond like being on a set where they tell you to be a little
I
free? But
would I would love that. Um, so when I was in school, I was at George Brown College for a 2-year acting program. We had improv classes for 2 semesters, and like I said, I was not good at it at all. I actually dreaded going to class because I would just compare myself to others, and I'm like, "This is cringy," you know? And then I actually taught drama, like, classes to kids, like, they were like 8 to 12, so like a decent range. And I would have fun because I realized that there's no one there to judge me. Like these little kids aren't going to judge me. So I would go up and I would do scenes with them and it would be hilarious. I would work off them and then I realized, okay, I'm actually good at this. And then I think my most recent and like I guess professional experience would be in that movie just doing improv and realizing that the director loves it. And a lot of YouTube is also improv too because you see a funny image or you watch a video and then you react to it. So all that on the spot is just off the top of my head. So
yeah, to the point where it's probably just becomes like, I don't know, like muscle memory where you just get in the zone and you're not to
yes,
the point where you're not overthinking it. You feel like at the beginning you were overthinking like
exactly.
every
Yes.
word you were saying, and now it's just, I'm just gonna flow and it just works somehow in a way.
Whatever happens. Literally that. It's like I become a different person. I'm like, cameras on. Okay, let's react.
That's amazing. And even we kept mentioning this film set you've been on to. Did you learn anything new about yourself from being on a bigger
Mm,
film?
that's so interesting. I
Or
realized
anything
because this
that
was a
made you
night
like
shoot.
step out of your own box and stuff?
I think he was just doing that improv scene and having
Yeah.
everyone like love it. I was like, this is something I'm good at. And I realized that comedy is really my strong suit. And that's one of my goals is to be in a sitcom show, kind of like Friends, or to be in a movie directed by Adam Sandler, preferably.
Hell
But
yeah.
I really think that comedy is my strength. And I realized that this character was very like ditzy and the opposite of me, but I brought a little bit of Lindsay into the character, and now I do that to every character, and it makes it more authentic. Like, bring a little bit of you. How can you relate to this character? And that's when you embody it and you become the character, because there's some truth behind it because there's a little bit of you in there.
Hell yeah, that's cool. Even like you think of like all like the biggest actors and actresses, they do that. And it's something I don't think about
Mhm.
a lot too. Like if you watch like a movie with Christopher Walken, for example, like he always has
Christopher Walken.
like he just yeah, he just leans into that cadence and he can be playing a bad guy, a
Yes,
good guy, but there's like little
literally.
things of him he can put into that. And yeah, I think that's gold that you found that in that comfortability and just confidence to do that. That's great news. Like sky's the limit for you,
Mhm.
Lindsay. I'm so excited to see
For real.
just like wherever your career goes, you know. This is an exciting time for you.
Yes, it is. Thank you. It is definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely getting more opportunity and I'm so grateful for it. Like I'm so busy, but I'm grateful for everything that has been presented to me.
Oh, that's amazing. And today also you're dropping a YouTube video, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's in
Is
about an hour and I realize that people like love to just chat with me and shoot the shit in the comments. So it's gonna be like a little live premiere so I can talk to the fans and give back and get their live reaction on the video.
yeah, that's so fun. So I actually like I could talk to you forever, but I know you got that going on, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of
Yes,
time to
yes.
decompress and chill. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
I just want to say I appreciate you for being on. You're welcome back anytime. And even like beyond this,
Thank
if you ever want to
you.
shoot the shit, I always love your energy and everything. It's so great to see your face and shoot the
Hell
shit.
yeah, I know, Sean. It's been way too long. We need to meet up. We got to do something before the summer's over. Summer's almost done, so we got to do something.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that off the air
Yeah,
or whatever.
for the next like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just us planning stuff.
Yeah, probably, but again, you can Google Lindsay Ivan, not Ivan Lindsay. He's buried because her career is rising. This poor old man hates her, but
God, probably I took over his page. Whoops. But his art still pops up, so hopefully people aren't buying his art thinking it's from me. It's not from me.
Or if you guys want, support the man as well. Get them both. Follow them both,
Or, yeah, go ahead. But let him know that Lindsay Ivan sent you.
Hell yeah. Can we get your epic sign off?
Oh my God, yes. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.
Hope you guys enjoyed that talk with Lindsay Ivan. I thoroughly had a blast catching up with her. And also listening back to this, I thought it was so adorable. Like, I didn't even know we both kind of had nervous energy to meet each other when we were working in the same building. And it's funny, even before we were formally introduced, it seems like we just became fans of each other's work. And I don't know, that's just something that made me smile listening to this one back. Because with my short time of working at Most Amazing, her and other handful of hosts there ended up just becoming dear people to me. And even though, like I mentioned, I was there for a short time, I feel like these people are lifers now. I'm always going to keep in touch. And with that being said, we're going to let you know when Lindsay's movie comes out, because we are so excited and proud of her on that one. Yeah! And before we go, like always, I gotta thank all you legends on the Patreon. First up, the co-producer, Jeremy Hopkin of Hopkin Design, the Queen, Ola Mazuka of Sonic Fold, Amanda McKnight of Top 10 Nerd, Saber, Ramshi, Jenny Potter, Devin Staple, Ryan Watkins of Ryan Radio, Devin McBride, Ryan frickin' Campbell, and last but not least, Francis Coffer, aka my mom. If you'd also like to be a badass motherfucker and support raw, honest, independent media like The Creative Imbalance, you can go over to patreon.com/The Creative Imbalance. And at our lowest tier, which is $3 a month, you will get a shout out at the end of every episode, and also get each and every one of these episodes uncut and early, literally immediately when I end the Zoom call with my guests. No edits, I just post it on the Patreon. You get everything. And beyond getting all that, you also get my love and appreciation. So thank you so much. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these episodes, but it's good to be back. Had to do some renovations because there might be some bigger opportunities in the future, and we're just trying to make this loose ship look really professional now. But I want to thank all you OGs for rocking with me. We got more episodes coming for you real soon, and I will catch you next time. Ciao.